Hi, good evening everybody. This is my audience for our final call to action speech. Go ahead and have a seat. John Adams once said, "If we execute murderers and there is in fact no deterrent effect, we have killed a bunch of murderers. If we fail to execute murderers, and in doing so would in fact have deterred other murders, we have allowed the killing of innocent victims. I would much rather risk the former. This, to me, is not a tough call." When the United States was formed, it was formed on the idea of justice and freedom for all. The idea that all people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness has helped make this country into the greatest nation in the world. The idea that punishment should fit the crime is one of the guiding principles in our legal systems. If you commit a crime, you should expect the punishment to be fitting of the offense. Of all crimes that can be committed, nothing is more severe than taking the life of another. According to the FBI, there are on average 45 murders per day in the United States. That is 45 families that are ripped apart every single day. 32 states, including the federal government and the United States military, currently impose the death penalty as a deterrent to murder and other violent crimes. A study that was conducted over a 3-year period that represents 109,000 prisoners released in 1983 from 11 different states. During the follow-up phase, concluded this group of releasees acquired about 50,000 arrests for new violent crimes, including nearly 4,000 arrests for rape and sexual assault. Prior to their imprisonment, fingerprint records for this group of offenders evidenced more than 19,000 prior arrests for rape and sexual assault. Ishmael Shelton, Douglas Taylor, and Terry Leslie. Do any of these names sound familiar? Ishmael Shelton was released from a Colorado prison. 8 months later, he stabbed his girlfriend to death. Parolee Douglas Taylor torched an Aurora apartment building in a jealous rage, killing a man. And Terry Leslie skipped out on his parole officer 5 months before he murdered a Lakewood attorney who was found in his basement bound and duct taped. All three are among the 33 inmates who walked out of Colorado prisons and were convicted or charged with murders while on parole in 2002. And in some cases within a matter of weeks. Between them, they took or are accused of taking 38 lives, including that of a pregnant woman a month away from her due date whose unborn child also died. On average, they were on the streets just 6 months before they were accused of murder. The shortest time from release to murder was only 2 weeks. These murders clearly show a pattern in violent offenders that statistics prove is irreversible. The only way to stop these violent people is to do so by permanent means, not by caging them behind bars for life, but by executing capital punishment, by federalizing the standards to enact capital punishment. We need to be able to get through to the heads of the Department of Justice, to let our voices be heard. We all must come together in unity so that our children do not fall victims to these predators. We must organize a hearing to project our cries to the country that all 50 states and U.S. territories should be able to exercise the people's right to capital punishment for murders and other violent offenders, to grant those families the closest they will ever come to closure for the loss of their loved ones who were not given the privilege of 10 to 20 years on death row. So please, on your way out the doors today, please sign our petition urging the federal government to enact the death penalty in all convictions of murder and rape, so that all the statistics of reoffenses in these criminals is stopped, so that no more fall victims to these dangerous criminals that our current system just throws back to the streets to hunt again. Sign the petition and make your voice heard.